one of our members had asked a question. She had seen a funnel page at another site and she wants to duplicate it herself, but she is just feeling overwhelmed on even how to get started. And I said, it is easy peasy, so let me show you how. Now, in this training video, it's all about, I'm using a platform called Funnel Gorgeous slash AKA GoHighLevel. GoHighLevel is the like behind the scenes program. And in case you're new to the world here, Funnel Gorgeous is just one of many companies that have white labeled it. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to show you how the page that she wants to duplicate and how I would go about duplicating it. It's super easy. All right. So let me share my screen and I will share everything here. Just give me a minute. Let me find one of the pages. I think this is it. So let me just bring this over and bring this on. Okay, so here we are. So this is Kathy's page. It's actually sitting on a different platform, and she's wondering how could she duplicate this easily, or maybe it's a competitor's and you just like the look and feel. So here's the first thing that I would do. I would come up to my browser and I would zoom out just a little bit. And the reason is I like to get that bird's eye view of what this website or funnel page looks like. And you're just follow along and you can see how my brain thinks. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to count the sections, because normally when you build a funnel page or a website, you do it in sections. And the reason you want to have multiple sections is it makes it easy to like either swap out a section. You can have different sections you can save as a favorite and use those sections over and over again, which I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. And then also just some of the formatting and things like that you can apply just to a section. So up here is probably the header section. So that's section 1. The second section here, you'll notice how the picture is moving in the background. It's another advantage of having things in a section. This is probably an image, a background image just for that section. Now it could be for the entire page, and I'll talk about that in a second. So that's the second section here. The third section, if we scroll down, you'll notice that there's a big block of white text, and this probably is all in one section. If I was doing it from scratch, I might break this up into 2 sections, only because you have to remember that people don't read, they skim. And if you have a lot of the same stuff, then people kind of get bored and they gloss over it. So you have a lot of white space here, a lot of words. I probably would break it up. Now, the next thing I do when I'm looking at a section, I just quickly eyeball it and I see that this part up here, this is probably all one row and it's centered. Okay. Now we come down here and notice it's almost like 2 columns, and that's probably what it is. So now we have a block of text that has 2 columns. So picture and text, picture and text. So again, do you see how easy it is? When I go to build it, I'll know exactly how to set this up. Now we're to let me count again. 1, 2, 3 sections. This is the 4th section here. And again, notice there's another image in the background. Looks like a different image. And there's kind of an overlay of like a black color to kind of mute it out a little bit. Again, super easy to do. So I think I keep losing count. Was that 4 or 5 sections? Now down here in the white, again, all of this is probably just one section. So here at this top, it's probably just a row or a couple of rows here, but it's just a single row. Now here we've got 3 columns because we've got the little check boxes and it's 3 columns. And then down here, another area that's got 3 sections again, or 3 columns. Excuse me. So again, everything in the white, you could make it all one section if you wanted. If you wanted to break it up just a little bit, you could, this section down here with, or the area with the pictures, you can make that a separate section if you wanted and just put like a real muted background color if you wanted. And now here is kind of the ending section of this website. And again, there's another background picture. We know it's a background picture because it just kind of lets the text float over the top. And then yet another section. And if we look at this, it's a 2-column section or 2 columns here. And then this is actually an embedded form that she's using. Kathy is a B&B host. And so this is the booking embedded form that she's added into this section. And then down here is this final little, almost final little section here, another little background picture. All of these are just centered. And then way down at the very bottom is what we call our footer section. And that's probably the same information on every funnel page that she builds. So that would be a great section to save as a favorite, and she could just dump it in. Actually, these 3 sections she could save as favorites because she's probably embedding this form on all of her funnel pages. So she could save it as a favorite. Then she doesn't have to do anything. She just grabs the favorite, brings it over. Excuse me. This section down here, excuse me, she could save this also as a favorite and then just swap out the picture once she brings it in. Okay. So that's the first thing that I do when I go to kind of edit a website or a funnel page. Now, how do I actually build it? So let me switch over here to Funnel Gorgeous. And again, same thing as GoHighLevel. And things are always changing, but as of this date, August 2023, if I wanted to build a new funnel, funnels are at the top. And then over here to the top right, I'm going to click on New Funnel. And here we're going to give it a name. Here's a little secret tip that I'll share with you. I always name my funnels, and I like to use a little emoji here. Couple reasons. If I do work for other people, they know which funnels I've touched, but also it makes it super easy for you to find that. When you've got a sea of 20 different funnels that you've built out, you can quickly find it. Okay. So the funnel name, nobody else sees it. So I'm just going to say new B&B landing pages. And I'm going to even put the date on here. You can always change this later. The funnel name is what makes sense to you. I'm not going to use a template. I'm going to literally do it from scratch. So I'm going to create. And then in just a minute, here it is. So if it doesn't come up right at the top, if you click the little clock thing, it will show you what the most recent thing is. And now here we are. If you're new to building funnels, the first thing you need to do is to go into settings and set up the domain and put a path and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into details on that yet. I'll do that once I get this done. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add a step because I'm not using a template. There's nothing here. So the page for this, I'm just going to say, excuse me, B&B landing page cottage. I think she's got different cottages that she uses, or different, what am I thinking of? Different accommodations. I'm just going to call this the cottage. And then the path, this is the path where that actually gets shared, that people would see it. Okay. So I'm just going to say beach cottage for right now. I'll probably change it when I get the real URL. So now I'm going to create it. So there is the funnel step. Normally what you have is you'll have some kind of a landing page, then you'll have some kind of a confirmation page, and you might have several different pages within that particular funnel. That's all I'm going to worry about right now. And now here's where we're finally getting into the nitty gritty. So I'm going to create from blank. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to say full width. And if you're not familiar with what's the difference if it's full width or wide and so forth, a quick little trick that you could do is bring in a full width, and then over here to the left you could change the background color, then pull in another section, change it to a different background color, and it will just visually show you the difference of the width. But for right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add this, and I'm going to add a row, and it's going to be a 1-column row. And how do I know what I'm doing? I just vaguely remember what she had there. So I am going to add an image. And I'm just, for right now, I am just mapping out the framework. And the image that she had on that was her logo. All right. Now, another little trick is each section. So a section is green. If you don't have to name all your sections, but if you do name some of them, it just makes it a lot easier when you're trying to modify things. So I'm just going to call this my logo section. If I wanted a background color, I could do that. All right. Now I'm going to come up here to section. I'm going to add another section. I'll keep everything full width for the minute. And let me find. And so now the the next one here, it had a background image and then the text. Okay, so big text, so a headline, subheadline, and a button. So that's all we need on that. So we are going to add a row, 1-column row. We're going to add a headline, and then I'm not even going to worry about the information here. So headline, small headline, and then what was the next thing? The next thing was a button. Okay. And then because she had the background image, let's see here. For the sake of time, I am just going to just pick something at random. Okay. And then again, what I would do is I would build out the framework and then go back and start adding the modifications. So if we wanted more space here between these, then I would come over here, I would click that headline, and then I would come over and I would add more margins, all of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want us to get distracted, but that's what I would do. All right. So that is the second section. And again, if you wanted to quickly give it a name, so this would be, I'm just going to call it top CTA section, because really that's all it is. You're trying to get people to act on something. All right. So if we come back over here, now this is the section where we're going to talk about the space, everything that's included. So here we've got a picture, and we've got some text. So if I come back over here, I'm going to create yet another section, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just make it a 1-column. I'm going to add an image. Okay, so this will be my house image, and then what was under here, then we have text. Okay, so I'm just going to jump down here and I'm just going to add some subtext, and I'm just going to duplicate this, whoops, a couple of times. Okay, so that's that section. Then, or this piece of it. Then when we look here, we have just a little spacer line, and now we've got 2 columns. So I'm going to come back over here. And again, we could leave this in the same section. I think for right now, I will. you want to give the eye a lot of breaks, so try not to have the same color halfway through, because the eye just gets tired and it stops reading, okay? So I'm gonna come up, now I'm going to add a new row, and in this row, it's actually going to be a 2-column row, all right? And then, the first, I don't remember exactly. Well, I need to just have this open. Okay, so we've got, text, text, picture, and then text. All right. So I have this reversed, but that's okay. So we'll have text, text, and then let's just add a picture, image, and then text, text, image, and then text over on this side. So now we'll just add element, and I think I will add like a headline, and then I will add the paragraph text. And again, we're not going to worry too much about all the spacing and stuff. I'm just going to add a little bit because it's driving me crazy. Okay. All right. And now a little trick here is in this row, once we get the row perfect, the way that we want it, then you could just duplicate the row. All right. So if we look up here, she is switching it. She's got the picture, then text, and then here we've got the text and then pictures. And what she's done on this is she's got multiple little check boxes and then multiple pictures here. So in this case, it doesn't really pay to duplicate the section. But if I had 3 or more, I would just duplicate this little row. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click to add another 2-column row. And now this time, again, we're just going to have some text, some more text, and a bullet list. Okay. Whoops. Okay, I'll just add that. And then it looked like she added another one, or we could just duplicate this once you get it set the right way. We'll just duplicate this again. Okay, and now on this side, I always kind of like to have some text, but we will just add an image, and then I'm going to add one more image. Okay. So you can see again, there's a lot of white on this. I probably would just put this whole section down here. I keep calling it a section, but you know what I mean, a row. I probably would put it in its own section. What I'm going to do just to kind of break it up a little bit, I could add a background color to it. And then, I could tone it down a little bit if I wanted so it's not as bright. So that's one way to kind of break things up. But again, because the section is out here, the color is only within that row. All right. So you still with me? So then there's another button there and then another section. So if we come here and I am going to create a new row, and so that I can center my button right in the middle. Okay. If I wanted to add, I think I have a divider line that I could add someplace in here. Divider. I'm just going to add the divider there. And now I'm going to add yet another section. Like I say, I'm still just doing everything wide here. And here's my next section. All right. And again, background, and then we just continue down. So do you see, I'm not going to do the whole thing here, but I want you to kind of get the picture of how easy it is to duplicate what you're looking for. So I'm going to zoom out here just a little bit. Let me zoom out again. Okay. So now here we're starting to see the bare bones of how we're building out our page here. Let me add, because I just can't help myself. Let me add one row here. And in this section, you probably can't see it, so let me make it a little bigger. Um, and I'm going to say bottom section. Okay, I can't remember what she had on the bottom. Enjoy Pensacola. Okay. Okay. So again, remember I'd said that once you get something just right, then you could save things. So I'm just going to add a quick little headline, quick little subhead, and we'll just, whoops, not a color. Let's add a background picture. Okay. And need to change my text just so we can see it. Okay. Hang in there with me. Is that white? It must not be. There we go. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add a new section, but I'm pretty sure that we've saved some sections. So a global section is something that will get applied to every single page in this funnel. Or if you go to just your layouts, here are footer sections that you can use in any funnel that you use. And again, my suggestion is name it. I always name my personal sections with my initial or my client's initial, and I like to say what it is, and I put it in all caps because it's super easy to find it. Um, so this is notice CG footer section. I'm just going to grab that and see, will it let me? Come on. Sometimes it won't go exactly where you want, and then you've got to move it around. Okay. Work with me. All right. There it is. So then I'm just going to move this down here. So this is her global footer section that I probably would use over and over on all of the web pages that I use. So I would make sure to pull in that global section. And the same here, once I get this situated just right, then I would save it as a global section, and then I can just use it over and over again. So that's it. That's how easy it is. If you see a website or a funnel page that you would like to mimic, that's how easy it is. All right. So let me come back to you full screen here. So this video went just a little longer, but hopefully it's useful to you. So if you're using GoHighLevel, Funnel Gorgeous, or even any other of the all-in-one marketing programs like Kartra, and you see a website or a funnel page that you really love, then just take a few minutes, go through like I did, and it's super easy. Then you can build it on your own. Or if you hate technology, then reach out to me and I'm happy to build for you. All right. Hope that was helpful. If you happen to watch this on the YouTube channel, then hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. All right. Take care.